Welcome to BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with BNEWS Director Rich Hosford, BNEWS reporters Tad Stefanak and John Vias, BCAT volunteer Nick Floridis, Gretchen Carey with the community calendar, and John Vias with weather. Thank you for joining us. The Burlington Select Board set the FY22 tax rate during its meeting on Monday evening, and Burlington residential homeowners will see an increase in their tax bill. The board held its annual tax classification hearing and set the residential and commercial industrial property rates for the fiscal year. Burlington has a split tax rate, meaning that residents pay one amount and commercial, industrial, and personal property owners, effectively meaning businesses in town, pay another rate. The big decision for the board is how to split the tax burden between residents and businesses. The first major factor is setting the tax rates to meet the tax levy needed to keep services, pay town employees, and make payments on debt, among other expenses. The amount of the levy was approved by town meeting last May when they passed the budget. This amount normally goes up each year, and this year was no exception, raising by 4.83% to over $129 million. The next consideration was the split tax rate and how much of the burden to put on residents and how much on commercial properties. When deciding on how to set the split between the residential and commercial tax rates, the board weighs its desire to keep the residential rate low so as not to burden residents, but also does not want to raise the commercial rate so much that it would slow economic growth. The board chose the option that most mirrored last year's split. In FY21, the business side paid 62.34% of the levy share, and it will take on the same level of the burden in FY22. Keeping in mind that the residential properties and the commercial properties are about even in values. Residents will continue to pay $9.95 per 1,000 on their property, but due to an increase in assessed home values, the average resident will see a $263 increase on their bill, a rise of 4.82%. Finally, members of the board said they were happy with the options presented to them, and though they thought the new split was fair, here's member Joe Morandi.
After sitting at the meetings and looking at all the different options we have here, being a resident naturally, and then being a business owner with land that is used for commercial side of it, I can't stress enough how good this is for us. It's not out of control. It's not going to make people in town, as far as the business side, go, oh, I got to start to look someplace else. It's still a very reasonable rate for everybody involved, especially the commercial side. And that's what I look at the most, because let's face it, that's where our base is coming from. So once again, I'm going to say it again, the three down back, you got the two assessors and Mr. Gino and yourself, thank you very much, and anybody else that was involved in coming up with all these scenarios for us. It's really helpful. It's done a great job. I just wanted to put that out there for the public to hear.
Secretary of Housing and Economic Development Mike Keneally visited Burlington as part of the One Stop for Growth Awards as the town and state strive to create a new phase of sustainable development and job creation chartered for recovery in the post-pandemic world. BNEWS reporter Tad Stefanak was there and has this files this look.
The town of Burlington's Department of Public Works endeavor to connect to the Massachusetts Water Resource Authority has reached a milestone.
This is great, speaking at an active construction site. This is really particularly exciting.
Burlington is taking part in a public-private venture for its infrastructure, housing, and economic development.
We're announcing today a $1 million grant out of our MassWorks infrastructure program for the town of Burlington to support this project. Woo! Burlington's got a real vision in a couple of respects. One is to really grow their life sciences ecosystem. They want to be, and they are, a major player in life sciences. It's a key part of the innovation economy in Massachusetts, obviously, one of our key sectors.
Life science and lab developments are very in vogue today, and I think the town is doing a fabulous job of positioning themselves to get in front of that wave, and are in front of that wave, and the MWRA connection will be very beneficial to attracting those types of tenants to Burlington.
They also have a real vision about housing development. We're in the middle of a housing crisis in Massachusetts. It's been that way for a long time. So anytime our communities want to build more housing, we want to be supportive of those efforts.
You know, we hear a lot about the way that government doesn't work, but today is an example of how government does work and should work.
It's a great use of our funds. It's a very important piece of public infrastructure that supports private development. That's really what the MassWorks program is all about, is having public capital invested to support great private investment.
The ability for these businesses to really lean into what looks to be the new economy, I think that we're very optimistic that Burlington is the right place for many, many of these companies to come and to grow.
Any day we get to see big piles of dirt is a good day in this line of work, so it's really wonderful to see this take off.
From Northwest Park, I'm BNews reporter Tad Stefanak.
Pet owners in Burlington will soon have a new place to take their animals who need attention. The Planning Board approved a special permit for Cambridge Street Animal Hospital in the shops at Simons Park development. Owner Catherine Wilson explained why there is more of a need for animal hospitals. She said a happy effect of the COVID-19 pandemic has been a dramatic increase in pet ownership. Wilson added the increased pet ownership is a driving need for more veterinarians because it is straining the capacity of animal care services across the board. Many veterinary clinics and hospitals, such as the Burlington Veterinary Hospital and Middlesex County Animal Hospital, note on their websites that they are no longer accepting new clients because they are simply stretched to the limits. She said she hopes to fill this need with their new hospital. There's a new place to dine in Burlington, one where customers can get into the grilling experience. Japanese grill restaurant Gayu Kaku is now open in the Village at Burlington Mall in the former Sears Tire and Battery location at 85 Middlesex Turnpike. According to the business's website, there are over 700 Gayu Kaku establishments worldwide, and this is its fourth location in Massachusetts. The website also explains the concept of the Japanese grill. It states Gayu Kaku means horn of the bull in Japanese, provides the authentic Japanese grilled barbecue dining experience where customers share cooked meats over a flaming charcoal grill. The restaurant has 102 seats with a grill built into each table that customers can use to grill their own selections. A group of BHS teachers have organized Abby's Elves, a club dedicated to giving gifts and goods to local homeless shelters and others less fortunate in honor of the late BHS educator Abigail Abbott. BNews reporter John Villas has this report.
On February 1st, 2021, longtime Burlington educator Abigail Abbott lost her battle to cancer at the age of 53. Not only was she a Spanish teacher and an advisor for the BHS National Honor Society, she had a passion for giving to those less fortunate, especially during the holiday season. Her legacy lives on through Abby's Elves, a nonprofit club organized by her fellow educators and close friends that adopts a different homeless shelter each year full of kids and provides them with a Merry Christmas.
Abby was a person who was very adamant about supporting her community through many different events, through volunteering at local shelters, food pantries, and just helping out in the community in any way possible. So we wanted to honor that tradition, and Abby's Elves is an organization that we help fundraise and support local shelters.
One of Miss Abbott's favorite annual events was Christmas in the City, a charity event held for Boston's homeless children where she served as shelter captain. This year, Abby's Elves will be heading to a local shelter in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, to provide families with home goods and holiday cheer.
It is in support of mothers and children that experience homelessness and poverty. We are given a list of gifts that the children have requested for their holiday season and their wishes. And we have also decided to support the mothers by making a multi-package of goodies and home products that they might find useful and appreciative, for their lives at the shelter.
Abigail Abbott was beloved by everyone she met, always thinking about others before herself, and her fellow teachers carry a holiday tradition that will keep her spirit alive for years to come.
I would say because it was the true essence of who Abby was as a person. She constantly thought about others. It was something that she really cared for and did on a regular basis. And she was a dear friend of ours, a dear teacher to the many students here in Burlington, and a colleague to the staff here. Since that was the biggest part of her life, we would really like to keep that tradition going in the spirit of her. And we know that she'll be looking down at us and smiling for the support of children and families, that experience poverty and homelessness.
From the Burlington Science Center at BHS, this is John Villas for BNews Weekly.
A local college student and his business partner have been approved to open up a small business in Burlington. On November 18, the Planning Board approved a special permit application paperwork for a therapeutic massage business at 169 Bedford Street in the Bedford Street Plaza. The application was filed by Kelsey Bevis, who identified himself as a current business management major at UMass Lowell. The only massage therapist on staff is Jessica Padalina, a former Burlington resident who graduated from the Salter School of Massage and has worked for various beauty salons and spas in the interim. Bevis said they are planning on calling the business Three Little Birds as a tribute to Padalina's father, who was a big Bob Marley fan before he passed away when he was 10 years old. Three Little Birds was the last song they sang together. Bevis wrote in the application, since then Jessica has devoted her life to helping others live their best life, reducing stress. With cases of COVID-19 back on the rise, Temple Shalom Emeth is holding most of its Hanukkah celebration online, though everyone is invited to the temple each evening to light the menorah. BNEWS reporter Rich Hosford spoke to Rabbi Abramson about the plans and has this report.
Hanukkah begins this Sunday evening, and while many will be celebrating in their homes, the traditional activities at Temple Shalom Emeth are once again being impacted by the continuation of the pandemic. However, temple leadership is doing what they can to observe the holiday.
Well, this is our second year of Hanukkah being during the pandemic, and so it's really cut into our ability to celebrate it in the way that we normally would. We usually have a big Hanukkah party at the temple. We have a Hanukkah service during Hanukkah, which is usually, and our sanctuary is usually full of people, kids, adults, everybody having a good time and having a special celebration after the service. However, with another year of COVID and the rates are rising rapidly, we couldn't do that again this year. So we have a very strict limit on the number of people who can be in our sanctuary. So we're going to be able to have our Dalit, our 6th and 7th graders, leading a service that's going to be live streamed, but the only people who are going to be able to be in the sanctuary are going to be able to be the class and their parents, unfortunately. But hopefully everybody else will be able to enjoy the service online.
One big tradition is being kept this year.
So the only other activity we're really able to do this year is that we're going to have a lighting of the Hanukkah menorah every evening at 7 p.m. right here. And we're inviting anybody who wants to join us. We'll have a little bit of refreshments. We'll light the candles. We'll sing the blessings. And 3 of the nights of Hanukkah, we're going to have Ben Silver, our cantorial soloist, here to sing some Hanukkah songs as well.
Finally, Rabbi Abramson said the holiday of Hanukkah is one of perseverance, and the miracle jar of oil that burnt for 8 days instead of 1 during the Jewish people's times of trouble symbolizes the human spirit.
The burning for 8 nights is symbolic of the fact that we have to have endurance and we have to persevere. This isn't just like a quick little one-day holiday or a quick little little ritual. It's something that lasts for over a week, and so we have to have the patience and we have to have the continuity of continually observing these principles and this faith and standing up for our rights as individuals, as Jews, as Americans, and our principles of freedom of religion for everybody.
You can find all the videos on the Temple's Facebook page and on the Spiritual Speaking YouTube channel. From Temple Shalom Emeth, I'm BNews Director Rich Hosford.
There's a new way to borrow books for free while out shopping in Burlington. Friends of the Burlington Public Library and the Burlington Mall have created a community partnership to create the Little Free Library at the mall's newest outdoor space called The Park. Burlington residents and shoppers are encouraged to both take a book and to share a book. The Friends restock the book selection weekly as needed. The books stocked by the Friends are carefully chosen for reader appeal. When asked by BNews about the goal of the program, those behind the project said the Little Library is meant to help residents have another way of connecting with both the public library and literature in general. Finally, Simon Property said, and the Burlington Mall said the Little Free Library fits in with their goals of being a destination and connecting to the Burlington community at large. One of Burlington's largest taxpayers, the Nordblum Company, has announced the addition of Chris Galletta to its in-house team of real estate professionals in the newly created position of Chief Investment Officer. Galletta will focus on growing Nordblum's portfolio, particularly with respect to life science and advanced manufacturing and makerspace, as well as building upon the firm's existing capital relationships. Galetta joins the company after serving over 16 years with Boston-based real estate private equity firm Alcyon Ventures, where he was responsible for developing joint venture relationships, identifying and executing on investments, and ongoing asset management of portfolio development and value-added assets spanning several major U.S. and Canadian citizens. In his role, Galetta will work closely with stakeholders to define and implement the firm's commercial investment strategy in an environment of changing office R&D and life science demands. BNEWS reporter Robert Paris met up with Burlington Parks and Recreation Director Brendan Egan to talk about the upcoming winter events for 21-22. Let's have a look.
Parks and Recreation Department is getting into the holiday spirit. I spoke with Brendan Egan at Simons Park for another update. Santa will be making his return to Burlington this season.
He's excited. He reached out to us in July or early August to talk about, an appearance and kind of work it into his schedule. He loves coming to Burlington, so we're excited to have him back. We're not sure how he's going to arrive on the Common this year. It's a mystery, so you'll have to come out and see.
Everyone is looking forward to 2022.
Looking forward to getting further away from this pandemic and getting things back to a little bit more typical operations, both at work and just in personal life. Just having everything, not seeing masks anymore, those type of things. Getting rid of plexiglass and all those things. But, we all have to do our part for that to happen.
I'm Robert Paris for BNEWS Weekly.
BNEWS weatherman Peter Brown is away this week, but our own John Vias has this week's forecast. We'll also check out the community calendar with Gretchen Carey to see what's happening in Burlington.
Hello and welcome to your weekly weather report. I'm John Vias, filling in for Peter Brown, who is out this week. Starting out our cycle, we have Friday, where showers are likely before noon and otherwise cloudy with a high of 44. Going into the weekend, we have a drop of temperatures and a small chance of snow before dawn, before the day becomes sunnier and a high of only 39. On Sunday, we can expect partly sunny skies and, again, a high of only 39 degrees. As we look at the work week ahead, we start with Monday expected to have mostly sunny skies, but a high of only 38 degrees. Tuesday will mostly be the same with a slight increase to 39 degrees. Wednesday should see us breaking the 40-degree mark with a high of 41 and a continuation of the mostly sunny skies. And we come to Thursday, the final day of our cycle, which will dip back into the 30s with a high of 38, and we'll see some clouds come in according to the National Weather Service. This has been John Vias with your BNEWS Weekly Weather Report. And as meteorologist Peter Brown always says, get out there, enjoy the weather, and have a great week.
Each year, the flu makes millions of people sick. Getting a flu shot is the best way to protect yourself. Within 2 weeks, the shot helps your body produce antibodies that fight flu germs. Protect yourself. Protect your family. Get your flu shot today.
I'm Gretchen Carey, and this is your community calendar. On December 2nd at 7 p.m., the Burlington Public Library is having an event called John Singer Sargent, Master with a Brush, with Jane O'Neill. Registration is required. For details, go to burlingtonpubliclibrary.org. On December 4th at 7 p.m., the North Suburban Jewish Community Center is holding a tasting of Hanukkah wines at Cappy's Fine Wine and Spirits. To register, go to the following website. On December 5th at 4 p.m., the Parks and Recreation Department is having the Burlington tree lighting on the town common. Everyone is welcome to attend. Rain date will be December 7th. I'm Gretchen Carey, and that was your community calendar.
BCAT volunteer Nico Floridis headed down to Varsity Field to catch the action of the return of the BHS Pep Rally ahead of the renewed rivalry between Burlington and Bedford. Let's check it out.
Hi, I'm Nico Floridis, and I'm here at the Burlington High School Pep Rally 2021. Let's see what's going to happen. On Thanksgiving Eve, the students at Burlington High School celebrated with a pep rally that was held at Varsity Field.
Oh, well, it was awesome. It was great to get everybody, get the school back together again, after not being able to have the pep rally last year. It's always nice when you can bring all the classes together and have some fun events and really kind of just get after it for a little while and really, get the school spirit going. So it was exciting and fun to watch all the kids, enjoying themselves today, and they were really into the pep rally today, so it was good to see.
Many students came together to participate during a variety of events. This year's pep rally was the first with many students, as it was not held last year due to COVID-19.
It was my first one because I'm a sophomore and last year we didn't get it, so I was really excited to be able to have one and I really enjoyed it. It was nice to see a lot of participation throughout all the grades.
Many students showed their enthusiasm by dressing up in colors based on what grade they were in. BHS Athletic Director Sean Hart shared his opinion about the pep rally coming back this year.
Well, again, with COVID last year and losing a lot of things, pep rally being one of them, I think the kids were just excited to have opportunities to come back and do it again. But I think, all in all, I think it was an A+ experience.
The original rivalry between the Burlington Red Devils and the Bedford Buccaneers has returned for Thanksgiving.
I'm just excited that we're renewing an old rivalry. You know, again, Bedford and Burlington had played for 16 years previously. Then when we joined the Middlesex League and Lexington joined the Middlesex League, we started that rivalry, and kind of rekindling an old flame is not a bad thing all the time. I'm looking forward to the game. With it being the first one, I said our expectations are high and looking forward to it, and just hoping we have a great game.
We're very excited for the opportunity to be out there and compete. We've had a great week and a half of practice. We've played very well the last 3 weeks, and we're ready to bring that with us tomorrow to Thanksgiving, and send these seniors off in a blaze of glory.
From Varsity Field, I'm Nico Floridas for BNEWS Weekly.
In the end, despite all the enthusiasm, the Red Devils lost the game to Bedford with a score of 55-18. Another week, another photo to highlight. This week's photo is a perfect homage to the Thanksgiving holiday. It is from Burlington High School and features the BHS gratitude turkey that was displayed in the school's front lobby. From Principal Mark Sullivan, the feathers were created in our advisory groups where we discussed the benefits of practicing gratitude and by writing down what you are grateful for on a feather. Thanks to Principal Sullivan for posting the photo and for all the students who participated for expressing their gratitude. We'd like to see your photos. They could be of your fall activities, a family trip, or just everyday moments, or coming winter activities. Whatever you think is interesting and want to share, email your photos to bcat@bcattv.org with the subject line Photo of the Week. That's it from the news desk here at BNEWS Weekly. I'm Phil Gallagher along with John Vias, Tad Stefanak, Robert Paris, Gretchen Carey, Nico Floridis, and again, John Vias with the weather. Thank you for joining us.